What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Cam back again with another video. Today we are going to be going over the top rated boxing headgears that you can ultimately purchase. Before we jump into the video, as always, we do have rash guards available on our website. Just go ahead and click the link in the description. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the #1 rated boxing headgear. First off, we want to say we bought and tested 4 different sets of headgear, put them on, tried them out, ran around in them, and even had my younger brother help us out in the decision-making process here. And the first one on that I personally rated the highest is going to be this RDX Sport Kara headgear. At the end of the day, the entire written description is going to have a detailed outline of why this specific headgear won like the best rated on the ones that I was trying out. But nonetheless, the leather here, absolutely incredible. If you guys stuck around for the last video that we had mentioning some sparring gloves, you'll know that the Kara set from RDX is also one of our favorite MMA sparring gloves, so it's not too far-fetched to think that, hey, this is also a really good product. The inside here, absolutely soft, kind of like silky smooth, which feels really great. The padding itself, pretty squishy, right? What I like to explain it as is more like a Tempur-Pedic pillow. At the end of the day, right, like this is going to be the most protective one out of the 4 that we tried out. Again, we tested and bought 4 separate headgears. This one is actually one of the cheaper ones, being that it's only like $30 on Amazon. I actually think you can get this cheaper on Amazon over like their specific website, and plus their website only has a couple of sizes. There is an alternative that you can ultimately choose from. As you guys can see, the top is kind of strap, has these elastic straps, so it really fits nicely to your head. RDX Sports, I believe I gave this a 9 out of 10 on the graveyard scale. Let's go ahead and jump into the #2 rated boxing headgear that we ultimately tried out. Again, out of the 4 that we tried, we rated them, and all the details about why we rated each headgear the way that we did is going to be in the description. So be sure to read that and check it out if you guys want some more details, some more pictures, some more images, and the individual reviews for these headgear. The #2 that we have on the list is going to be the Hayabusa boxing headgear that we have here. As you guys can see, the straps are pretty interesting. I was actually giving this to my brother. He said it was a little complicated to get on and off. I do agree with him, but I think that it's pretty novel on the way that they kind of did this. Super secure at the end of the day. And Hayabusa really just kind of stood out in terms of the actual material that these headgear, or the headgear that we kind of looked at and examined. It is relatively squishy. I would say a little bit more stiff on the foam, and this is a little bit more pricey. Well, it's way more pricey than all the other ones that we looked at. This one is $120, I believe. At the end of the day, Hayabusa is normally a very, very high quality brand, and I do like their material. I think the design, super sick, super sleek. The interior fit really well. I didn't necessarily like the chin strap just because, like, if you know anything about like these style of chin straps with Velcro, that Velcro can cut underneath your neck a little bit, which can kind of be annoying. But if you kind of have a different face structure than me, you know, it could always be a little bit different. This is a little bit more on the pricier side. You can't really go wrong with Hayabusa, in my personal opinion, just because, like, again, their quality kind of just speaks for itself. As you guys can see, there is no like exterior part around the ears. I did mention that in the video. And again, this leather here, super smooth, super sleek. I wouldn't expect anything else other than high quality coming from Hayabusa. I do believe I gave this an 8.6 out of 10 on the graveyard scale. Number 3 that we have on the list, personally, I mentioned that I didn't necessarily like this one as much as I liked the previous 2 that I did mention. The RDX is going to be #1, Hayabusa #2 in terms of quality. Obviously, if you guys are not looking to spend anything more than $100 on anything, I do suggest going with the RDX headgear rather than the Hayabusa. But this is like a middle tier boxing headgear, I would say, and it's coming in third with the Venom Challenger Series 2.0 boxing headgear. Now, one thing that is always apparent from all the stuff that I bought from Venom, both MMA gloves, boxing gloves, and now the boxing headgear or the MMA headgear, right? It has this chin strap, so that technically makes it an MMA gear. The quality of the product made is without a doubt up there with Hayabusa, up there with RDX. Great quality material. Just the way it fit my face personally, I wasn't a big fan. It just felt like, because I'm in braces right now, I did mention this in the specific review here, the chin strap right here just kind of pressed up against my lower jaw and the braces that I do have, and it just made it a little bit uncomfortable, right? So that's just my own personal take. Again, if you don't have braces, then it might not actually be a problem for you. At the end of the day, this is a $60 headgear. I don't think you can necessarily go wrong with the MMA gear from Venom. On the inside, as you guys can kind of see here, this material is super soft, more like squishy rather than hard plastic or hard foam. So it is going to be very protective. There is a little bit less field of vision compared to some of the other ones just because of the chin strap I think that it was built with. So this is just like kind of the design that they went with for this specific headgear. What I did like most about this headgear is actually the ear protection. At the end of the day, I'm starting to develop a little bit more on the cauliflower ear because I train jiu-jitsu so much. My ears just get ultimately really sensitive and you know, start to puff up and swell, everything along those lines. So having ear protection I thought was a cool add-on here for this specific gear. If you guys noticed, this is the only one of the 4 that we tested that actually has this type of padding around the ears. So I thought that was a really nice add-on. I did give this an 8.4 out of 10, I believe. So closely behind the Hayabusa, but nothing too dramatic that it's not going to make this a bad or not going to make this a horrible purchase in my personal opinion. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the number 4 option that we have currently on the best boxing headgear of 2024. Last but not least, we have the Elite Sports boxing headgear. Now, if I'm being completely honest, right, I think this is actually one of the, if not better, like field of vision, comfortability, it's all there. And on top of that, it is super, super cheap. If you guys know anything about Elite Sports, it is like the cheapest material or the cheapest equipment that you can get. That's relatively good, I would say. I'm not necessarily the type that likes to go budget, specifically for something like headgear where you're talking about your brain, your face, everything along those lines. I don't necessarily think that you should go, you know, cheap on that. But if you're trying to ball on a budget, I do believe that this headgear is probably best for light sparring and those beginners that don't necessarily want to have too much of a investment into, you know, their equipment. Now the foam here, this is also mentioned by my younger brother when I had him put this on. The foam here is actually really hard, right? So it's like less absorption. That's why I say it's probably best for light sparring. But at the end of the day, wearing this thing is actually super, super comfortable. I'd probably argue that the comfortability here is probably better than most, if not all, the boxing headgear that we actually did try out. And again, it's only like 25 bucks on Amazon or their website. So fairly low price point ultimately to enter. Elite Sports wins on the best budget gear that you could ultimately have from a boxing headgear standpoint, in my opinion. Okay, in the future, we do plan on testing more boxing headgear. Ultimately, we will update the article that we have before we make a video, just because it takes more time. Thanks for watching, guys. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. It really does help support our channel, and you guys ultimately do interact with this type of stuff. Let me know if it's helpful. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, all right? Peace.